So nice to see you all here. And hello to everybody in Zoom land. It's nice that you're here too, and good Shabbos to you. Hopefully everybody had a chance to grab the prayer book on your way in. If you have two prayer book page numbers in the corner of your pages, which is quite confusing. As I announce pages throughout the service, you're going to follow the one in the blue brackets. Okay, so if you only have one page number in the corner, you're great. If you have two, follow the one in the blue brackets. Now, you may be surprised that Belinda is not this individual right here, but rather, I am very honored to be co-leading the service tonight with Rabbi Danny Price, who is going to be our interim rabbi while I am on sabbatical, which begins next week on Thursday. And we are just so fortunate to have such a wonderful and dynamic human being filling in and sharing all of his just really wonderful talents and qualities and gifts with us during his time here. You're very welcome. And so tonight we'll be singing together. We're also leading services together tomorrow morning. For those of you who enjoy Saturday morning service, you want to come tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. We are going to be starting on page 142.
And so we're going to be starting with Shalom Aleichem, and I'm sure most of you know the words to Shalom Aleichem, but this is a slightly different version. It's actually a version that's been around for a while, but we changed it because in my head I saw three yeshiva bachers on their way home, because it used to be you would go to services, you do your Mariv service, you'd run home, and then you would sing this around the Shabbat dinner table. But since we're all here, we might as well sing it. So here's the thing, you know the words, even if you don't get the melody at first, you'll definitely get the part that goes lie, 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 okay? And so I encourage you, in anything I do, please join me. Shalom Aleichem, Malchei Sharei, Malchei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malchei Sharei, Malchei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Lai, 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 lai. La 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 la. Boachem shalom, malachei shalom, malchei elyon, mi melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Boachem shalom, malchei shalom, malchei elyon, mi melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malchei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Huni Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malchei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. La 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 la. La 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 la. Say ten shalom, malachei shalom, malchei elyon, mi melech malchei hamlachim, kadosh baruch hu. Say ten shalom, malachei shalom, malchei elyon, mi melech malchei hamlachim, kadosh baruch hu. La 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 la.
take a nice deep Shabbat breath in and out, filled with gratitude for being here tonight, gratitude for reaching Shabbat, gratitude for the good work that we can do, because as you know, tonight is also our Human Rights Shabbat, which is celebrated and honored along with many congregations all over the country in honor of International Human Rights Day, which is the weekend of December 9th and 10th. And so later on in our service, we'll be hearing from our guest, Claire McCarthy, about trans rights and teen trans rights, and it's really going to be wonderful. And we're very happy you're here for her visit and talk as well. We are going to turn to the lighting and blessing of our Shabbat candles, which you can find in your Sidurim on page 120. And I didn't get to ask you in advance, but I hope it's okay. David and Terry, would you mind coming up to light the Shabbat candles? You may not know this, but they happen to be very long-time friends of Rabbi Price. And so it just seems like a natural fit. And Shelley and Beth, I hope it's okay. Yeah, okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you, Yasher Koach. We turn now together to page 138.
And we're going to do L'chadodi verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. You know the melody, but here's the catch. Many years ago, I had a bat mitzvah student. And we were in Temple Shalom in Norwalk, and I have to say Israel and Deborah Herskowitz were there as well. There's congregants as well. And so I had a student who was going to the next synagogue over, and I had not been there yet. I eventually ended up working there, Temple Israel in Westport. And so I said, oh, can you please let me know how the service is? Tell me how it is. So a week goes by, she comes back, she has a class, and she looks at me, and she goes, and I said, so, how was it? Oh, she goes, oh, it was great, but they sang all the songs wrong. So I'm going to sing some of the songs wrong. And just in case, Terry, you don't know who that was your daughter, Sarah. Oh, hold on. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat likavela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat likavela la la. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat likavela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat likavela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Yishmi'anu el ha'miyuchad, Adonai echad, v'shemo echad, v'shemo tiferet v'liti la la la, lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat likavela, lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat likavela. Likrat Shabbat Lechuvin Elcha, Ki Mekor HaBracha, Mirosh Mikedem Nisucha, Sot Ma'aseh B'machshavati la la la, Lecha lecha dodi, Likrat likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat likavela, Lecha lecha dodi, Likrat 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 kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Hitoreri, Kiva orek, umi, Shirmeri, Tivod Adonai, like Niklala, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam v'simcha u'v'tzot ola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela.
Let's all remain standing and take a moment to greet the people near you and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Friends at home, please share Shabbat greetings if you wish in the chat box.
Thank you. What? Can you hear the piano? Can you hear the guitar? Yes, I can. Okay. No, I just want to make sure because.
All right, lovely people, let's turn together. We're going to stay standing and turn to page 144. Page 144 for the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitgalal v'yitkadash meraba.
Amen.
V'yalmad yifrach yiruteh v'yanich malchuteh b'chayecho u'v'yomecho u'v'chaye dekol beit Yisrael b'hagala u'v'zman karib v'yimeru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam u'lamei hamaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'al v'yitruman v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalel v'yitalal shmei l'kudusha rehu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Zamiran b'yalma V'imeru Amen.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Let's turn together to page 149 and read together at the top of the page. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch Ata Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Avta, Torah u'mitzvot, Hukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shofteinu, uvkumeinu na'aseh b'chukecha, v'nismak b'divrei toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem hayenu, v'yorech yameinu, uvahem neke yomam v'layla, neke yomam v'layla. V'ata zir, v'imenu li'olamim, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We continue with the V'ahavta, page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'otecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'lechtecha b'derech u'shokbecha u'v'gumecha u'kshartam liyot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Let's read together at the top of 157, this important reminder about our work that we always must undertake to make the world come closer to freedom and redemption for all. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Thanks for that groove. Page 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom B'Hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom B'Hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim.
And now the reminder to celebrate Shabbat.
Hold on, put my pick down. V'shamru l'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat לדורות לעולם. v'shamru l'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני
את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות לדורות. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות לדורות.
And now for the tefillah on page 164, I invite those who are able to please rise.
Adonai, sfatai tiftach, Adonai, ufi agid tahilatecha, Adonai, sfatai tiftach, ufi agid tahilatecha, Adonai, Adonai, sfatai tiftach, ufi agid tahilatecha, Adonai, sfatai tiftach, ufi agid
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei bneihem, L'ma'an Shemo ve'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Elam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim, U'matir Asurim, U'mekayem Emunato L'shenei Afar, Michamocha B'gevurot, U'mido Melech, Melech V'mid, U'mechayeh, U'matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah hayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh u'shimcha kadosh, Udoshim b'chol yom yalavu hasela, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. We now take a few moments to continue silently through page 180. You may pray the words on the page. You may pray the words of your own hearts and souls. And you may be seated when your prayers are done.
Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Vegoali, Yiyu Liratzon, Imrefi, Ve'yolibi Lifanecha, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Ve'goali.
Shabbat Shalom. And good Shabbos once again. What? Back at where? We're back. Hello. good Shabbos once again. And for those of you who are longtime members of our congregation, it's really a pleasure to have you here tonight and to see your wonderful punams and just to get to, experience this lovely musical, enjoyable, this good feeling tonight with all of you. We have members of our choir with us making beautiful music. Meg, thank you. And Rabbi Price, thank you for sharing your musical gifts with us tonight too. For those of you who are newer to our community, here for the first time, visiting us, we're really glad you're here too, and we hope that you feel just as much a part of the family as anybody else, because you're part of our mishpacha just by being here. Part of being a family, part of being a community is taking care of each other, both in our moments of celebration and in our moments of trials and challenges. And one of the ways that we take care of each other is when people in our families or in our community are ill. And so we're going to join together to offer a Misha Berach prayer of healing for all of those people we are thinking of tonight. And of course, if you'd like to add the name of someone after I share our CBSRZ list, you are more than welcome to do so. And people at home, please share names in the chat box. Tonight, we are thinking of Aubrey Berkhamshaw, Mark Gruenfeld, Rose Madnick, David Hayes, Valerie Kohler, Gittel Elka Batzelda, Dave Sullivan, Madeline Jones, Michelle Mancinelli, Richard Horowitz, Myra Zalesnik, Celestina Adler, Suzanne Reeps, Mark and Donna Cohen, Danae Stone, Sheila Stone, Cole Gabe, Beth Waldman, Ronnie Burson-Weiner, Sarah Riley, Morty Pear, Lydia Polomsky, Jean Richardson, Linda Polomsky, Susie Lipow, Joshua Townsend, Judith Kaufman, Deborah Zalesnik, the Canoni family, and the Amiri family. Who else are you thinking of today and sending your healing prayers to? Oh yeah, Belinda Brennan. Well, goodness gracious. Thank you. I had to get all the way over. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. And Carrie Bellows. Let's see if anyone at home has a name to share. Mary, Joy, Jean, Jennifer, Stephanie, Ben Bossy, Claire Suckman, Sandy Fair, Daisy Richal, Brian Cutler, Lynn Lanoux, Marion Cancelier, and Jim Nickel. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, v'imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel, hu yivarech v'yirapeh et kol hacholim ha'ela. May the one who blessed all of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless and heal all those who are ill, all who are in pain tonight, all who are suffering. We pray that they will soon return to a place of peacefulness, a place free from pain. Whatever suffering they're experiencing of mind or of body, of spirit, we pray they will be released from it. Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh HaCholim, we praise you, God, who cares for the sick. And let us all say together, Amen. Amen. I apologize for not having a musical Misha Barak tonight, just in the interest of time. We also have people in our community who have experienced healing and who have recovered from injury, from operations, like our cantor Belinda. She's on the mend. She continues to do very well. people who have escaped danger in any way, people who have traveled far away and have come back home safely. And on behalf of all those in our midst who have experienced those miracles, large and small, which we never, ever, ever take for granted, we praise you, God, who enables good things to happen in the world around us. And let us say together, Amen. And we have simchas, smachot, happy occasions to celebrate together as well. Do we have any birthdays, anniversaries, something fun or wonderful going on in your family that you'd like to share? Yes. Oh my goodness. Mazel tov. Do you want to share anything else about it? He's getting married. So David and Terry Fogel's son is getting married next week. Mazel tov. We wish them a b'sha'a tova. They all happen at just the right time and happen just the right way, and just be, the delightful celebration for which you all wish. And we're really, really all happy for you. And if you want to, send in a picture and details and stuff, we'll send it out to the community. So congratulations. Then we can all kvel with you. Yes, Nora? Your mommy's birthday is coming up on Sunday. On Sunday, Yom Haledet Sameach, happy birthday, and many, many more. Ad mea ve'esrim. Do you know what we say? Ad mea ve'esrim. We say until 120. Yeah, we're wishing that your mom will live to 120. Just like Moses. Just like Moses. That's the blessing we give in Hebrew. Ad mea ve'esrim, till 120. Who else? Yeah, Barbara.
I actually have two things.
Oh, great.
Alex was elected to the executive board of the Hillel at the University of Delaware. Something about treasurer for religious life or something.
So Alex Infeld has been elected to the executive board of the University of Delaware Hillel. Something about being the treasurer for religious life. Is that what you said?
That's what he said. That's what he told
Great.
us. And,
As opposed to the treasurer for non-religious life.
Yeah.
Right.
Social life. And Syracuse University is going to a bowl game. And Zachary, as part of the band, will be marching on the field there at Yankee Stadium
Oh my gosh.
in the pinstripe bowl
Wow.
in the end of December.
So it's a bowl game, not a ball game.
Bowl game.
Okay, so Zach Infeld will be marching on the field at Yankee Stadium for a pinstripe bowl game, BOWL, as part of the band, part of the marching band at Syracuse University. That is really cool. That is a unique opportunity. Very, very cool. Anybody else? Yeah, Rosalind. Happy almost birthday.
Nora is working on trying to make her school more sustainable through her classes and with all the
Wow. So Nora is working with her friends, yeah? Or for her friends, was that, yeah? On making her school more sustainable. That is amazing. That is really important. Thank you for doing that beautiful work in your school, Nora. What does it mean to be sustainable? Can you tell us just in a couple of words what it means to be sustainable? Like give us a couple examples. Like composting, great example. So not just creating more landfills, but composting your waste, some of your waste. And recycling, right? Reduce, reuse, recycle. Nice. Awesome examples. Really great. Good luck to you. Thank you. Thank you for asking, Ronnie. Can always count on you. Anyone else? As you know, this is my final Shabbat with you for a few months, and so I just want to tell you how much I adore you all, and I can't wait to see you in 3 months, and wish you all only the best. And I will be in touch with Rabbi Price throughout, just to kind of, just make sure everything is going well. We will be checking in if there's anything that needs to, Yeah, if there's anything that needs to be addressed or anything. So everything will be just fine. And yeah, so you can already see, I'm sure, how delightful everything will be. So, as I said towards the beginning of the service, tonight is Human Rights Shabbat, and we are so fortunate to have our speaker tonight. Oh, wait, hold on. Leah Price shared Mazel Tov Luke.
Yes, they grew up together.
Okay. So Leah Price says Mazel Tov Luke, and said, my dad came back home from Arizona and is helping lead a wonderful service. And frankly, I'm very excited and happy for him. So I couldn't leave that one out. That's really sweet. That's great. Thank you, Leah. Human Rights Shabbat. I was given something to read. I do have to make that disclaimer by our speaker, Claire McCarthy. Claire McCarthy is the host of Transcat, the podcast. Transcat is her attempt at creating a safe space for respectful conversations about trans issues. She retired last year after 33 years as a high school Latin teacher. As a dedicated classicist, I know some of you are like, ooh. She is both pompous and aloof. No, seriously, I consider her a friend, and she really is quite arrogant. She wrote this for me, I'm telling you. Claire founded Transcat to apply her skills as an educator and communicator to an issue in desperate need of civil discourse. Today's media landscape has too many angry voices shouting over one another. Understanding, which is Transcat's mission, is only possible after listening, which we are here to do. So thank you, Claire, for being here and joining us tonight. Claire McCarthy.
Lead off by calling me arrogant.
What? Welcome, all yours. Thank you.
Is there someplace I should put this?
Where should I put it here?
You know, that's so true. And one of them the Belgians inhabit, and another the Aquitanians. I'm sorry.
Latin.
People are having flashbacks in the audience.
It's okay, sit over there. I don't want to be in your screen.
Move this off to the side. Good evening. I am so grateful for the chance to have this conversation with you. I decided I'd like to begin with Proverbs chapter 4, verses 5 and 7. I'm going to read the Latin Vulgate because my Hebrew is non-existent. Sorry. And then I'll translate. Posside sapientiam, posside prudentiam, ne obliviscaris neque declines a verbis oris mei principium sapientiae, posside sapientiam, et in omni possessione tua adquire prudentiam. Hold on to reason. Hold on to understanding. You must not forget, nor should you deviate from the words of my speech. The beginning of wisdom is this: hold on to reason, and in your every holding, acquire understanding. I was a queer kid in the 60s and the 70s, painfully, deeply closeted, but still. And I thought before I got to the human rights, social justice points that I want to make tonight, I would share a couple of anecdotes just for context. I have dim memories of playing dress up with my sister Kelly when we were very little. I put on a blue dress and felt, what? Pretty, safe, right. Did not expect to feel that way. My mom called us down to lunch, and so we took everything off and threw it back into the box and got down into the kitchen where my mom and her mom were waiting for us. Now, Grandma Lebrecq saw a couple of the long synthetic hairs from one of the wigs on my shirt, and she teased me about what I had been doing upstairs. My reaction was immediate and visceral. Anger. I went silent and I glared, which time would prove is sort of my default way of dealing with stress. I had been genuinely happy just a couple of minutes before, and now somehow I understood that my happy was wrong. I recognized who I was, and I learned that I should be ashamed of it. And I loved Grandma Lebrecq, don't get me wrong. She was not a mean-spirited person. This was just good-natured ribbing. We did it all the time in my family, but this cut close to the bone. And I think it was on that day that I started building my defenses. 1981. I'm a senior in high school, and I'm working on a research paper for my Latin 4 class. And as I said to somebody before the service began, Latin was the only thing I was good at in high school. So I wanted this to be perfect. And the resources that I needed weren't in the school library, and they weren't in the town library, so I drove 45 minutes up 91 North to UMass Amherst. The W.E.B. Du Bois Library, 18 stories tall, third tallest library in the world. I found what I needed pretty quickly, and I still had time before I had to get the family car home. So maybe it's time to carpe the diem on this cross-dressing thing. See, at that point, I'd been raiding my mother's closet and my sister Kelly's closet for close to 7 years. And that's not just any 7 years. That's middle school and high school, a time when any crack in the defenses would be exploited. I mean, one effeminate gesture, 5 seconds too long, admiring the prom dresses at the mall, and I would be destroyed. So I decide to walk. Paul Newman cool. I mean, that level of cool and disconnected to the card catalog. Yes, I said card catalog. This was 1981. Nothing deviant going on here, folks, just good, wholesome research. And I looked up cross-dresser, and I looked up transvestite, and I looked up transsexual. Now, I knew other words that were used to describe people like me. They weren't intended to help or to educate. In the entire library, there were 3 books. The first was a book about female impersonators. Now, drag is an art form, and these performers were gorgeous. But I'm not a performer, and I'm not glamorous. I enjoyed looking at the pictures, but there was nothing there that spoke about me. The second book was some psych grad student's thesis. And the language was brutal. Sexual pervert, aberrant, Oedipal complex. My desire to dress, it said, it's just a fetish. I do what I do because I did not successfully pass through some early stage of development. I can't find the third book, and I'm too angry to ask for help. And I know if I get in the elevator right now, I'm just going to suffocate. So I run down 10 flights of stairs, down the stairwell, and I get outside, and I just stand there frozen. And my eyes are closed, and my fists are clenched. My shoulders are somewhere up around my ears, and my jaw, man, my jaw hurts. And that voice, that inner critic that never goes away, it was barking at me, you will not cry. Do you hear me? You will not cry. So I don't. Instead, I just stand there, outside the most extensive research facility I have ever seen. And I'm alone. These scenarios reiterate for half a century. I try to make my way toward an authentic life, and the world slaps me down. Rinse, repeat, and each time I build the walls a little thicker. I do this for 5 decades until it breaks me. In the recent midterm elections, there was a concerted attack on the human rights of transgender youth. Not just rhetoric, but a legislative agenda to deny them, among other things, affirming health care and the right to compete in athletics. Let me be clear. Any attempt at political gain at the expense of children is craven and intolerable. And like the villain in an old Western, it deserves to be called out publicly. And so here I am this evening. Title IX is one of the most important legislative achievements in American history, but Title IX is not specifically about sports. It's about inclusion. It states no person shall be excluded. Not cis women, not trans women. It's a complicated issue. And if you go into a complex system and expect a simple answer, you're either naive or disingenuous. High school athletics, you see, don't exist in a vacuum. They are what they are because college sports are what they are. And college sports are what they are because of the shape of professional sports and the Olympics. Common sense says you can't solve this problem from the bottom up. And so suing school districts is not a path that leads to understanding, not a path that leads to reason. Real leadership would form a commission, take a couple of years, study it in depth, get testimony from all of the stakeholder groups, trans athletes, cis athletes, the IOC, pro sports, colleges at every division, high school athletic associations, medical, legal experts in the relevant fields. No grandstanding, no posturing, no media. And when all the testimony has been respectfully heard and analyzed and discussed, then you publish guidelines and you enforce them. Guidelines that ensure that no one is excluded. But see, that's what leadership would look like. The Democrats don't want to touch this issue. Kids don't vote. Angry parents do. And the truth is, there aren't enough trans people to swing an election. Republicans don't want to solve the problem. They want to exploit it. We're an easy target because we're alone. As to healthcare, queer kids are at a heightened risk of anxiety and depression, of harassment and physical violence, of homelessness, of substance abuse, of suicide. Because even today, with the internet and social media and representation in pop culture and books published at every lexile level, the world is still actively trying to convince them that they don't exist. I knew who I was before I hit double digits. even though back then there wasn't even a vocabulary to express it, and I didn't have anybody to express it to. And I guarantee you, there was not a single positive, supportive image of people like me in any medium. But I knew. So when a child says, I'm not the gender you think I am, or this body is wrong, listen to them. Listen to them even if it scares you. Listen because it scares you. Transitions, you see, transitions can start with baby steps. Let the kid dress the way they want at home. And if it makes you uncomfortable or your spouse, remember what Jeanette Jennings, the mother of Jazz Jennings, said. I would so much rather have a live daughter than a dead son. Weigh that against your discomfort. If they want to dress at school, advocate for them. Is there a danger of harassment? Yeah, you bet there is. So where are you standing? With your kid or with the bullies? Are you going to protect the vulnerable or the status quo? As to medical transition, puberty blockers, let's get some of the facts out there. Puberty blockers do no harm. If the child decides months or years down the road, transition's not for me, they stop the blockers and the body immediately resets to where it would have been. Puberty blockers, pardon me, puberty blockers have long been used to treat cisgender girls with precocious puberty. If it's a legitimate treatment for them, it's a legitimate treatment for us. Now, cross hormones, when you start taking the hormone that your body does not produce naturally, I, for example, have to take a daily dose of estrogen because my body doesn't produce it, that does start to create situations that can't be reversed. But HRT, hormone replacement therapy, is only conducted under the guidance and supervision of a trained endocrinologist who knows trans people and how to deal with them. It's not something abstract that you can walk into 7-Eleven and buy. You have professionals. And most of the time, you can only get to that point after working with a mental health professional to make sure that's the right decision for you. So there is a team of support. And surgery, it's the one that always gives people the willies. There are standards. They used to be called the Harry Benjamin standards. Now it's called WPATH. I don't want to bore you with the details, but suffice to say this. There is no kid anywhere, anytime, who says, Mom, I'm trans, and then a van shows up and whisks them to the operating room. Doesn't happen, okay? That is a straw man argument. If I had had access to this kind of affirming care back then, I wouldn't sound like this, and I wouldn't look like this, and I wouldn't have done so very much damage to myself and all the people around me for 5 decades. Trans rights are human rights has to be more than a bumper sticker. But the truth is, if all trans people in the country stood up all at once and demanded justice, politicians would still consider us a negligible demographic, a risky demographic. And so I come to be here with you tonight. We all know that the transphobes and the anti-Semites are one and the same. The same people who are vandalizing synagogues, they're the ones turning in parents to the DSS for loving and supporting their children. The people who are tweeting about the Jews are the same ones who would open fire in a queer nightclub in Colorado. We have common cause. So let us work together to create a better understanding. Posside sapientiam, posside prudentiam. Thank you.
Thank you. Claire, after someone does something remarkable in services, we say, Yasher Koach, which means, may you continue to be strong. And Claire, may you continue to be strong. You have that blessing from all of us. And we hear you, and we are with you. And I think you really touched a lot of hearts tonight. So thank you, friend, for being with us. Claire will be with us at the Oneg following services as well. So if you'd like to ask her questions or speak with her about anything she talked about tonight, you'll have an opportunity to do so following our service. A few quick announcements. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. is Scrollers. We are actually talking about, based on the Haftarah portion, how it is all right to cry, and the expression of feelings by all genders. So you're always welcome to join us. And then at 10:30 a.m. is our second Saturday Shabbat morning service, as I mentioned, co-led by Rabbi Price and by me. Thursday, December 15th, Rabbi Bellows' sabbatical begins. Friday, December 16th, 7:30 p.m., Erev Shabbat service with Rabbi Price. So thank you in advance. Cantor Belinda continues to do well. She is walking straight up with a walker, and her chipper personality is shining through. So we're happy to hear that. Tonight's Oneg, thank you, is provided by Beth Brewer and Shelley Sprague. And we're back in action looking for sponsors for Oneg. We went years because of COVID without having any Oneg, without any food served in the synagogue. And it's so nice to be able to ask you to please sponsor an upcoming Oneg. So you bring joy, which is what Oneg actually translates to. You help bring joy to our Shabbat celebration. If you have an upcoming person to honor that has a yortzeit coming up and you want to honor their memory, or if you have something to celebrate, or you just kind of want to do something nice for the community, call the office and see what date is open and that matches with your schedule, and we would love to have you take part in that way. So we are going to turn to our concluding prayers, beginning with Aleinu on page 586 in the middle of the page. Please rise if you are able. La tekiru la leotzer breshit shelo asanu kigoye haaretzot velo salanu kamishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem vegor aleinu kechol hamonam va'anachnu korim umishachavim umodim lifnei melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'nemar V'haya Adonai L'melech Al Kol Ha'aretz Bayom Hahu Yeh Adonai Echad U'Shemo Shemo Echad. Please be seated. Page 598. We take a moment now in our service to think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. If you hear the name of a family member or friend read aloud on our Shiva, Shloshim, or Yortzeit list, and if you're comfortable doing so, you are invited to rise when you hear their name read aloud. This allows us to recognize your loss and offer you comfort. And then we will all rise to join you in the recitation of the Mourner's Kaddish. I just want to make sure I get back to the Zoom chat. I will also invite people at home on Zoom to share any names they would like in the chat box. This Shabbat, we mark the recent passing of Tom Lonergan. We mark the Yortzeits, the anniversaries of death for Bunny Barron, Jack Barron, Ruth Ravner Belgrad, Jeremy Bixon, Celia Bronstein, Harry Dabowski, Nathan Frankel, Helen Friedman, Rachel Friedman, Rachel Friend, Louis Goldfinger, Sidney Herskowitz, Marcus Hoberman, Miriam Jacobson, Saul Meller, Judy Joslow, Joseph Katz, Jesse Lindenman, Marilyn Schiffman, Esther Smith, Sandra Sobel, and Regina Waldinger. Zichronam Livracha. To these names we add and B. Funes, and Nancy Greenberg, and Peggy Goldfader. May all of their memories always be a precious blessing to all who knew and loved them. Together now we rise and we join in the words of Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah v'alma divarach irutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kariv imru amen. Yehi shemei rabbah mevarach leolam u'lamei almaya yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
So, please be seated.
I think your mic might be off. Yes, it's off. Do you want me to get it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll be standing here. Can you hear me now? Yes. Can you hear me through the mic? Oh, what a difference, eh? Okay. So we're going to end the service with the singing of Adon Olam. Many of you have sung Adon Olam, but many of you have not sung it this way. I tried not to introduce too much, too quickly, but this is fun, and some people here know it.
Page
It's 624. So if you'll indulge me one quick, this is what my daughter Leah used to call the tuning song. Because after picking these strings, come on. Almost there, almost there, almost there. It's a Gibson guitar, it should stay in tune, but
It's the
I do.
What can you do?
And then I need my capo, which is here. It's on the speaker, thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Because not everything is done in E minor. So, when we do this, you'll know where to come in. Sing along once you get it, but you'll know where to come in. Are you ready? Adon olam Hashem malach, ay di 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 b'terem ho yitzir nivra, ay di 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 yetnasa v'hefso kol, ay di azay melech shemo nikra, ay di. ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא. והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. Hashem Allah, ay di 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 b'terem kol yitzir nifra, ay di 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 v'yetnasa v'hefso kol, ay di azay melech shemo nikra, ay v'hu echad v'ein sheni לחמשילו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז להמשרה. Hashem Allah, ay di di b'terem kol yitzir nifra, ay di di v'yetnasa v'hefso kol, ay azay melech shemo nikra, ay ve'hu eli v'hai V'tzur hevli b'yetzara V'hu nisi umanos li manat osi b'yom ekra. Hashem Allah, ay di di b'terem kol yitzir nifra, ay di di v'yetnasa v'hefso kol, ay azay melech shemo nikra, ay b'yado ואם רוחי גוויתי אדוני לי ולא יירא. אדון עולם אשר מלך, ay di di b'terem kol yitzir
Lietzavet HaSukkot, Hai, Dai, 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 Ozai Melech Shemo Nikra, Hai, Dai, 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 Dai.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much for welcoming to your community. I really am looking forward to the next few months.